So, a little while ago, a friend of mine made a YouTube video talking about why Spider-Man and Starfire would be absolutely perfect for each other. And if you guys don't know who that guy is, his name is Comic Casual. I'm gonna guess a good few of you guys that watch my channel also watch his just due to the fact that we make fairly similar content and I do edit his videos. So, kind of just a given assumption. But in the off chance that you don't, obviously you can kind of assume what he talks about in his video. And I really just wanted to make this video because a lot of the friends that I have also, just like that I speak to on a normal basis, had a very differing opinion on that specific fact and completely just said that Spider-Man would not be able to bag Starfire in any singular way possible. And I kind of had to agree with them just due to some specific facts about who Spider-Man is and other facts about just Starfire as a character. So I'm just going to be making a video basically, not even debunking what my friend said and not even like debunking what Comic Casual said, but just kind of giving my own opinion on why I disagree with his specific statement and just kind of going into my own, spiel and full on rant as I normally do. But let's honestly just get into it anyways. Because the question of could Spider Man ever actively date Starfire, the real just answer is not a chance, in my opinion. And honestly, if we really think about it, our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man couldn't bag any one of the women Nightwing has actively been with either, and that's just something that one of my friends said to me that I actively had to think about. So let's just break down the Starfire situation and maybe talk about a little of the Nightwing situation also. So if you look at Starfire, we all know she is one of the most powerful and free spirited characters on like the DC side. Obviously not like super powerful, but her powers and her ability set are fairly unique and fairly decently well powered. She's an alien princess with an open, passionate view on love, emotions, and all of that. She doesn't hold back, and kind of needs a partner who could match her fire both literally and figuratively. And Nightwing, however, he's got the charm, he's got the confidence, he's got the experience, and let's be real, dude looks like he was sculpted by the gods. This man is the peak comic book heartthrob material, and we all know all love Dick Grayson. That's just a given fact. He's got effortless swagger and makes even the goddesses look away. He makes them all look his way. And when he walks into the room, people notice. And I know, kind of a little high level glaze onto Nightwing, but we all know Nightwing deserves as much glaze as possibly can be given. And obviously, when we have Spider Man on the opposite hand, we know that he is a lovable dork. We kind of know, like in specific points, he can be attractive also, but normally he's more awkward. He jokes when he's nervous. He overthinks everything. And now, don't get me wrong, Peter is no stranger to romance, but could he really handle someone like Starfire? Honestly, just no way. Not in a million years. Spider-Man doesn't do that whole emotionally unavailable thing. And let's face it, Peter has got baggage, a lot of baggage. He'd be worried about Aunt May stopping the latest villain in New York, while Starfire would be, trying to maybe take him out on spontaneous trips, like do whatever, and a lot of different things. And we've literally seen full situations in, I can't even remember what movie it was, where they're literally just making innuendos between Starfire and Nightwing the entire time, which, don't even get me wrong, Peter would probably be on that same exact wave, but we've seen him with specific relationships that he's had, and we know Spider-Man's love life does not ever go in the best way possible in any world, in any situation besides maybe one, and that's just him not being Spider-Man until way later on. And that's not even touching on the fact of her, like, just Starfire's sheer physicality. She's flying around, with supersonic speeds, throwing energy blasts, like punching people through buildings like it's nothing. Peter is strong, sure, but he's not built for like that specific kind of strength and all of that. And if you really think that he could keep up with that kind of energy, I've got bad news for you. He'd be out of his depth faster than you could say great responsibility. And another major issue is Starfire is extremely open with her emotions, while Peter, on the other hand, often quite literally bottles up his feelings into like the radioactive waste. communication is a key part in our relationships, and these two would struggle big time because of the fact that Peter Parker and communication is not usually the best way that he's going to be able to handle it. And I know you guys could think of probably, oh yeah, in this comic, oh yeah, he was good with communication, but we've had very good and very many examples of him either not having extremely good communication, messing up a relationship because of communication, or just having so many things go wrong in his own personal relationships for whatever reason that possibly could exist. If we're just talking about him and Black Cat, the entire reason that we've seen that kind of relationship just fumble out of existence is one, Peter tells Black Cat, oh, this is who I am, and then she just automatically gets disgusted just by seeing Peter, which we know would never happen to Nightwing. Come on now, would never happen to Nightwing. And Felicia literally saw Peter's face and was like, oh, no, put the mask back on, and was basically just shook out of existence. Him and Mary Jane have that entire debacle that we could just spend hours talking about. Gwen Stacy, we know what happens there, and we've seen him obviously bag some extremely powerful women, but the way that Nightwing's able to bag people, it is a very, very specific thing, and Peter can actively be emotionally closed off at specific points, or at least specifically more often not, he's very well willing to just go oh, let me just have my entire family and everything completely forget about me just so I can obviously save the world or whatever, or just change the world, revert the world back to whatever kind of needs to be, which obviously fair depending on the situation, but there is a lot of problems in any relationship he's going to be dealing with. But obviously, as I was talking about earlier, we do also have to talk about Nightwing's list, because Nightwing's dating history is absolutely stacked. We're talking about Barbara Gordon, Zatanna, Starfire, Helena Bertinelli, even Wonder Woman has been shown to, have some interest in him, and we know a good portion of the DC roster is just enamored with the boy. Obviously, Peter, on the other hand, has MJ, Gwen Stacy, Felicia Hardy, and we have a couple others that come in every now and then, but those are the main three staples. We have I think we've had Captain Marvel, we've had Black Widow, we've had some other just one-offs and whatever, and then a couple others that just kind of make the lists every now and then depending on the situation. But as I said, MJ, Gwen Stacy, Felicia Hardy, those are the three main big staples on his love life entire train. And I'm pretty sure, I know there's a couple others, I just cannot remember them at the exact name, at the exact point, just because, they're not extremely relevant half the time. But Nightwing, he's just out here dating some of the most powerful, intelligent, and dangerous women in the DC universe, and almost any female, male, and any kind of person alone in the DC universe or our world is just going to be absolutely trying to get at Nightwing any singular point in time. And we kind of just have to get to the point of, could Spider-Man date Barbara Gordon? Maybe. But Barb's is an intellectual equal to Bruce Wayne, so he's probably equal to Peter in very specific formats. She's a master strategist, elite hacker, and one of the most competent crime fighters in the entirety of the Bat family. And Peter is smart, but he has a very specific kind of different genius comparatively to her. More science geek and less detective mastermind, so the dynamic wouldn't specifically last. And Barbara needs someone who can match her tactical level of thinking and independence comparatively to just being oh, tech, I got. Specifically, the intelligence is just where it's different. I've already made a video on Zatanna on why I specifically think that they would actively get along, so there's not really much that I have to talk about there. But we can actively, go into Helena Bertinelli, which, again, I don't think would really be happening just because, the very, very different types of environments and everything else like that. And I've literally also made another video on why him and Wonder Woman will be perfect for each other, and that's probably my most viewed video anyway. So we have so many just things that we can actively just discuss on him and his dating and just the DC universe in general, just because ideas are infinite, and Peter has game fairly well, but just not levels of Nightwing if we're being fair. But obviously, just getting back to the Peter side and just kind of getting off a little tangent on, oh yeah, Nightwing has some good, solid game, and boy, is an absolute G. And just glazing Nightwing. This isn't even his video, but we just got to glaze him a little more. But we also just have to specifically talk about the main reason that relationship between them would never work, and that's just specifically Peter's self-sabotaging problem, because Peter does have a very bad habit of pushing people away. Even when he finds someone he genuinely cares about or who genuinely cares for him, he convinces himself that he doesn't deserve happiness or somehow finds a way to make sure that the relationship just does not work. This is why his relationships with MJ and Felicia have been on again, off again disasters. Starfire or anybody on Nightwing's list wouldn't really tolerate that kind of emotional whiplash. Most of the time, they're together for a good long portion of time, and they're actively having a very solid relationship. Like, we can literally think about Nightwing and Barbara Gordon, or like Nightwing and Starfire, depending on which world or exactly which timeline or exactly like what day or we're talking about. We see these people having actively healthy relationships, and Peter Parker and healthy relationships happens at specific points and times, but there are very specific times that relationship is not healthy in the slightest. And the biggest example that we could easiest use is, like, not even in comics. We could just literally talk about the Peter Parker for the Sam Raimi movies and his relationship with MJ, because that was a toxic hell that you could just throw out and just be like, golly, was this an absolute mess and a half. But it's really just kind of showing to the point of the main reason why these two just could not work and he could not bag her is because she is very well attracted to a very different type of charm and charisma. And again, that's just specifically thinking about like the fact that Nightwing's charms aren't just about looks. He knows how to carry himself. He walks into a room, he owns it. He knows when to be serious, he knows when to be funny, and how to make people feel comfortable. Peter, on the other hand, he's got a good portion of those things. He's endearing, but he's not as smooth as Nightwing. His humor is more self-deprecating, and while that works to certain cases, it's not going to impress somebody like Starfire. Like, Spider-Man is an amazing hero. He's a great guy, but when it comes to dating, he's in a completely different league of Nightwing. Like, and that is not me being like, oh yeah, he's well above him. It's the exact opposite. Nightwing is way too smooth, confident and adaptable to be in the same kind of level as like Spider-Man. He's a heartthrob with skills and charisma to back it up, and I'm gonna glaze this man so much. He walks into a room, it's like just like he like walks that thin line between charming and dangerous that we know Bruce Wayne obviously taught him. And Peter, as I keep saying, he's charming, but he's your best friend's nerdy brother. Like, he that kind of specific kind of way. He's the guy that you root for, the guy, one who deserves happiness completely, mind you. But when it comes to like sheer dating success, he's not even on the same conversation as somebody like Nightwing and Starfire. Like, this is a very big situation where she needs somebody who can match her fire, both figuratively and literally. Like, she needs someone who could handle the intensity of her love, the emotions, the power, and Peter is great, but he's not that guy. Like, another reason just, why Nightwing wins the dating game, he's got confidence and maturity to handle a lot of complex relationships. Peter often self-sabotages and pushes people away because of the fact that he doesn't really feel like he deserves happiness at specific points in time. And I'll give other few things that we could easily just get into, but we're probably just not going to. But so yeah, Spider-Man might be one of the best people when it comes to saving the day, but when it comes to romance, he's not bagging Starfire, in my opinion, or anyone from Nightwing's roster. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. But what do you think? Am I wrong, or does Spider-Man just need a different type of girl? Let's talk about it down in the comment section below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you guys can get more videos like this. Peace. See y'all in the next one.